California Pop, The Evolution of Mid-Century Subcultural Southern California by Dorian McDougall. Chapter 8, At the Devil's Doorway. Section title, The Wild, Wild West Coast. In mid-19th century California, all roads led to Frisco, and amongst the general population, it was universally acknowledged that the devil could have what's left, and he didn't need to be asked twice. While San Francisco was becoming the cosmopolitan go-to place on America's new West Coast, the cowtowns south of the Tehachapi's were filling up with losers, loners, miscreants, and malcontents of every possible description. And by most accounts, the long-time residents were no shining beacons of society either. In September of 1781, 12 local families got together to christen the Pueblo of Nuestra Senora la Reina de Los Angeles, or City of the Angels. But if the founders intended this homage to the heavens to ward off evil, it failed miserably. By 1850, Los Angeles had become so rough and unruly a town that its few civic-minded residents couldn't hire a lawman nor keep a churchman. Never mind what you've heard about the wild and woolly cowtowns of Abilene, Kansas, or Tombstone, Arizona. In the 1850s, Los Angeles, California was the undisputed capital of misdeeds, mayhem, and cold-blooded murder. Nearly all residents walked the streets armed to the teeth. Between the years of 1849 and 1854, they collectively spent over $6 million on weaponry and were more than willing to use it. From 1850 to 1857, Los Angeles had the highest murder rate in the nation, with at least one killing a day. For Southern Californians of the 1850s, a premature parting under unnatural circumstances awaited 1 in every 10 residents. Quote, "California is just 3,000 miles closer to hell." Henry David Thoreau. So how, in just a few short years, did Southern California go from a sleepy pastoral province to a southwestern version of Sodom and Gomorrah? Well, for decades, Mexican authorities had forcefully herded their criminal class up into the northern territories. And San Francisco, transitioning from a lawless border town into that Paris of the West thing, was cracking down on the wild frontier hooliganism that was so common during the gold rush days. To rid itself of this felonious element, the city organized some very effective vigilante committees. These regulators managed to shoot, hang, lynch, beat, and deport so many of the criminally inclined that most of their brethren voluntarily relocated to Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, and San Diego. Outlaws, gamblers, drifters, whores, tin horns, and much of the disaffected rabble of the gold rush all converged on Southern California, where civilization had yet to advance. Saloons, gambling halls, and bordellos dominated the business districts of these towns and gave them that boisterous border town ambience that's so attractive to the social renegades among us. Finally, the good people of Los Angeles realized that if they were going to effectively combat the unchecked lawlessness that was overwhelming the territory, they would have to do as San Francisco had done and organize vigilante committees of their own. And so, at a local L.A. saloon, a mounted vigilante group was assembled and sworn in on August 1st, 1853. They called themselves the Los Angeles Rangers, and they too became deadly regulators, tracking down and dispatching 22 repeat offenders in their first year together. Word of the Rangers' lethal prowess quickly spread throughout the Southland, which again convinced many of the local perps to seek out some less perilous environment in which to conduct their affairs. Sidebar: Justice delayed. According to legend, the Rangers never brought him back alive because Los Angeles had no jail facilities. However, in order to avoid the appearance of impropriety, the deceased were always given a fair trial at a later date. The vigilante system proved so effective that most of the other Southern California towns organized their own hometown vigilante teams, and by the late 1850s, the wanton bloodletting had subsided enough for a marginally stable social system to emerge.